work in the vocational rehabilitation division. And so our division, if you've been around, we used to be called DARS, the Department of Assisted and Rehab Services, but we merged under TWC. And I work at our regional office and get to oversee our programs team. And so we work closely with our management teams and our counselors who work with our customers and providing technical assistance and support. And so we have integrated into our Texas Workforce Solutions offices in most of our areas. We still have a couple offices that are standalone, but for the most part, our VR folks are now integrated into those local workforce centers. So that's me. And then Max, you want to say hey?
Yes, I can go. So I am I'm Maggie Cromings, and I work under Emily. I am a business relations coordinator for Texas Workforce Solutions Vocational Rehabilitation. So I serve all of San Antonio and South Texas. So the easiest way to describe my job is I'm basically a liaison between the businesses that are hiring and diversifying their workforce, like hiring individuals with disabilities, and then working with our customers that come to VR that are looking for a job, that maybe need some support. So I work a lot, I would say, like programs, initiatives, work experiences, volunteering, just trying to link our customers and the business while doing like education and advocacy, disability training and awareness. So a lot of education on my side as well. So business relations coordinator.
Again, Maggie, we've actually met a couple of times.
Yes, we have. I thought you looked familiar. Yes, it's good to see you.
Good to see you too.
Great. Well, I'll jump in next. My name is Janice Onyejoko, and I'm from Workforce Solutions Alamo. I'm one of the disability navigators, and my specific role is I act as a connector, the connector for individuals who are students from 14 to 22 years of age. We link together the educators, the education service centers, whether it's ESC number 20 or ESC number 3. We connect them with opportunities in the community, and that would be helping their students learn about different modules that are available to develop work training skills. Also, different initiatives that TWC has, such as the Summer Earn and Learn program, paid work experience opportunities, those types of things. And we also connect with the business community to see what's out there. Where can we find that perfect fit for a student who's just trying to get their feel in the community and their first job? We work very closely with our workforce solution partners, and Mr. DeFries will be coming as soon as I finish my spiel in a minute and tell you about the variety of centers we have. But we link together. We also work very closely with the youth service program within the WSA umbrella. And that's what I do in a nutshell.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Well, I'm Michael DeFries. I'm the Deputy Director of Partnerships and Operations for the Workforce Solutions Alamo, with the workforce centers here in San Antonio, as well as out in all the communities that touch Bexar County. We go as far up as Fredericksburg, as far down as Pearsall, out towards Hondo, and all the way out to Kennedy and Floresville. So I have a presentation, if anyone, a couple slides that I use as an orientation to our centers, if anyone would like to do that. But basically what we're doing is we run the workforce centers. We do all the programs, TANF programs, SNAP programs, and the WIOA programs, as well as the youth. And what we do is we have universal services for our clients. Anyone can come in and utilize any of our universal services in our centers, but then we have intensive services where it's more one-on-one once eligibility is met, either through HHSC or our own eligibility. They work one-on-one with customers to find employment and possible training if employment is not a option for them as well. And we work in coordination with the VRS group that's in the majority of our centers as well.
you.
So one of the things that I think helped a lot, I hate to say helped, but when the pandemic did hit, before the pandemic, we were brick and mortar. If you wanted to have services, you had to walk through our doors, you had to come in, you had to meet with someone face to face. When the pandemic hit, we started swapping a lot of our services over to virtual. So someone possibly could never step a foot in a workforce center and still be provided services. We have online orientations, we have online classes, such as job search classes, interview classes, workforce solutions, workshops as well. We have orientations online to get people oriented, and from there, someone will reach out to our customers either via Teams, via Zoom, one of those virtual platforms, to do intake with them, discussions, what they need, an initial assessment of them. Then once they've decided that the customer would like to participate with us, then we could go into the intake process, doing employment plan with them, as well as getting paperwork signed. And that's something else too. We finally have DocuSign so that we could just send the person that took an arm and leg and a heartbeat. And Janice knows that because that was something that came up in all of our meetings, where we could just send a link and the person could sign on the paperwork and it comes right back to us. A lot of the training providers also have gone virtual. There are very few that actually do on-campus trainings anymore. The only ones that really do are the ones that are the trades, where you have to learn how to weld or you need to learn how to do electrical. They do a blended, where you do a lot of book work and then you have to come in and do the hands-on as well. And even some of the medical has gone blended, but the majority of the training providers right now are doing fully virtual, and that has helped out a lot. So. Any questions about that? Anything?
I was going to say, if you had any specific questions, you could just, feel free to ask us.
Mhm.
This is your personal session.
I just wanted to kind of get more information and outreach. Maggie knows I work with ACOG. I'm their employment service coordinator, and Miss Janice, we've kind of talked through email, but I've never formally met you officially. I also work with Giovanni Washington at ACOG, and as you guys know, he runs the Summer Earn and Learn and the Project Search programs. But I'm fairly new to this current role at ACOG, and we're currently we have a binary contract with you guys to provide job placement and job skills training. We updated our contract to include supported employment and work readiness trainings, because myself and my staff have all of the credentials for that as well. And so we're currently also accepting referrals for ASD supports as well. So I'm just wanting to gain as much information and get myself out there and our program out there, so that we can, be one of the well-known, because what I'm getting is a lot of people are like, oh, I didn't know ACOG had, and so I'm like, yes, we do. It's going to be about 2 years now, but we, as you guys know, contracts take forever, and once you finally do get the contract going, then you have to, start creating your marketing and all of these things, and that's what I'm learning now.
Okay, well, I do thank you, for sharing that information. What I'm going to do, I know you said you have my email. I'm going to drop it in the chat for you. And we, and many of the faces that are represented here, we do have the Alamo Area Coalition that might be a perfect platform for you to join into. We do highlight and showcase different entities of companies. Giovanni is a member of that, but it would be perfect for you to lay your cards, as we say, on the table, do a presentation, because we work with 62 disability organizations around the city of San Antonio, as well as from the rural counties. So that would be an ideal for you.
Yes.
Okay,
Thank you.
you're welcome.
And I just want to also kind of chime in. So Dana, you know, we worked closely with ACOG, and I know that you mentioned that we've got the contract now for you guys to provide services to our customers. And Todd, I don't know if you're still working in the capacity. Are you still with PCSI? Are you guys still? Okay. So I will tell you guys that as far as just because you guys are, you're familiar with our program, we, I'm sure like other entities, have been really hit as far as just our referrals and our bodies coming in. As you heard from Deborah and Melanie, you know, through the pandemic, we've seen the needs have changed, right? And so employment is not really at the forefront for a lot of our folks because it's just the basic needs, the food, the shelter, the clothing, that's been a priority. And so I think this is a really good opportunity for us to leverage and make sure that we, you know, are messaging all the programs that are available. We have money that we can spend, but without the bodies coming in, you know, we can't really do that. And so right now in our program, we're gearing up for summer earn and learn. And so that's focusing on our youth 16 and 22 that are looking for, you know, a work experience during the summer. But outside of that, what's been a challenge for us is navigating through, again, the families who are not quite comfortable in their customers and going out and doing employment, you know, trying to navigate this hybrid approach of doing work experiences and things virtually, which we've done. But the funding is there. And one thing that I have seen that we've really struggled in is just our students, our youth, right? Because the schools and some of the barriers that have resulted from COVID, just people not at this point, employment being a priority. So if you guys were a family member, you know, we would talk about the program and the overview and the benefit, but you guys know, you guys are, you know, part of our crew and you know how we work. And so, you know, we're trying to get the messages out. We have some new initiatives with VR in that they're moving towards, because of COVID, some more electronic tools and systems, right? We've always been paper and pen, and that's kind of been a hindrance. And so there's actually a number now where folks in MAGs, I don't know if you have that number for Austin, but it's a 512 number where if people call and they're not quite sure what office they need to go to, they can call this number, and this number has people answering the phone in Austin to get them dispersed to the right office. We're also moving towards some systems. There's a system that a lot of government entities have used called SARA. It's SARA. And this is going to allow us to do a lot of sort of the remote check-ins with our customers that we, you know, like we don't really have policies that allow for a lot of information sharing via text message, right? Because it's not, when we talk about, you know, protecting your private information. And so SARA is a system that we're working on to where we can use that and basically check in with customers and communicate virtually and have protection for that. There's also going to be, it's called the Box, and it's a system to where people can go into our website. This is forthcoming. It's a project where people can basically start the initial contact application process, which is like mind blown. We've never had that, right? If you are interested in applying for our services, you've got to talk to somebody. You have to go through this process and meet with a counselor. But there's actually this new project that's focusing on this Box tool, which allows someone to go in on our website and kind of put in some initial information. And then it gets them to an office based on their zip code that kind of starts that process. So that's just really neat information for you guys to know that our division is moving forward and kind of trying to troubleshoot and navigate through this remote world and get customers. There's also a priority and focus on just messaging and branding. As you guys know, we've gone under TWC. And so we used to be this separate entity and people knew about DARS, but sometimes we get lost in the shuffle because we are just one division under TWC. And so messaging and more branding, and really making sure that people understand, kind of where we are. One example is if you go to the TWC website, before it was kind of hard to find VR. We were kind of lost in that shuffle. Now we're actually, at the top of the middle of the page. And so we are as a division making progress and kind of trying to get more aligned with the 21st century and being able to do some things, in this remote world. So I don't know if that's helpful, but Todd, I'd love to hear from you as far as kind of what you're seeing in your world as far as, because you're a contractor. I'm sure you guys have been hit as well with referrals.
Thanks, Emily. My name is Todd. My mother didn't know I was going to be the run of the family as in toddler, but no. So I've known Emily for about 6 years now. We started Project Search together here in San Antonio. I work with a provider called PCSI, and sometimes I don't even know what that means, Professional Contract Services. And Emily, I'm going to blow your mind here.
Tell me, blow it.
We just bought River City. River City is now PCSI.
Wow.
There you go. I'll explain. But anyway, folks, I'm a provider. I work for a large company. It's a nonprofit out of Austin. They're Ability One, right? If y'all don't know what that is, that's a government contract that places people on military bases and city, federal, state contracts. And so we have about 2,000 employees, all with disabilities of some sort, in about 13 states. And I don't mean to be brag here, but we made about $150 million last year. So we're not a mom and pop in San Antonio, right? We're a pretty big company. And I started about 6 years ago. I started running, we started with a program called Project Search, and Emily can tell you more about that. But anyway, great program. We got that running in San Antonio. And then we just started placing young adults. I work with transition students, right? Younger kids. I have a lot of energy, not as much as Maggie, because she's like type A and she's hyper like me. So that's why I like Maggie, because she's got all this energy that she just got to use. In my day, when I was young, and I'm sure I had some kind of ADD, we didn't have Ritalin or all of that, but I'm glad at 60 that I have a lot of energy, because these kids need it. They need us, they need our energy, they need our advocacy, right? So I started about 5 years ago, just by myself in San Antonio. My company, even though we're providers for the federal government, my board member just said, Todd, just go into San Antonio and get a whole bunch of jobs for a whole bunch of kids, right? Just go do it. That was about it. Not much guidance, but I'm a retired military officer, so I kind of know how to just do stuff without guidance. We didn't get much of that to begin with. So Emily, I'm going to blow your mind here again.
Tell me.
I just placed my 450th young adult.
Wow, that's awesome.
Yes, if that doesn't get a couple of handshakes, I don't know what will. 450, just me, and occasionally I have an assistant to help me out. So Emily said, yeah, I'm on the ground. I'm where the rubber meets the road. So let me share with you some observations really quick.
Please.
During COVID, Emily, it was a boom. I had the best year ever placing young adults with significant disability, and take those with Downs, right? The most physically vulnerable, because there's a DNA issue there. We all know that. They're out there, these young kids, and I say kids lovingly, don't take me wrong, they are adults, but in some ways they're just like our kids. They're out there hanging their lives out there during last March to this March. They want to work. So I'm not sure what you've seen, Emily. You mentioned something about, that a lot of folks may be, scared to get out there. Yes, that's true. A lot of folks are, but I'm finding the opposite. I'm finding these guys, and of course they need adult supervision because they're going to want to do whatever. But I had a boom year this past year. Of the 400 or 500 I've placed over 5 years, this year was a couple hundred. So that's one. It was one or two or three a week, right? It's a lot. And I've had way too many jobs and not enough clients, but plenty of clients. And the one reason I was able to help get a lot of people great jobs, even though there were not many jobs, right? The jobs were scarce. We know that they were scarce, but there were some companies that were booming. And we know that one of those was Amazon. And Emily, you know, we have a special relationship with Amazon. My company has a contract with Amazon to place people with disabilities in Texas and Colorado. So since March to now, I've probably placed 120 kids in Amazon. Since COVID, 120, $16 an hour. We get to pick their shifts, their hours, and their days. And so I've found it to be easy, more easy during COVID, which doesn't make sense, right? Because the companies that do want to hire are hiring big time, and those that shut down, they're gone, right? USAA, I had a bunch of people out there in San Antonio. They shut down. All those people lost their jobs. Had 10 or 20 out there. HEB still doing great. You know, groceries, retail shut down. So that was horrible. So all the kids that I had that lost their jobs in retail, I just moved them over to Amazon, and there were other hires, right, as well. So I just say that to say that even in difficult times, there's, you know, where there's difficulties, there's always opportunities. And so as long as we job people, you know, us business people, you know, Maggie and Allie and all you other workforce business folks, there are companies out there hiring. So that's been a boom. We took a River City in, and River City is running Summer Earn and Learn. They did last year. Y'all remember that, I think, with Mark Spurlock and his gang, right? Well, so now they are not River City. They are PCSI. They belong to us. We're moving into the office next week on Broadway. Emily, you know what I'm talking about. So we're doing the Summer Earn and Learn this summer. Mark is now part of us, and we're excited about that. We can't wait to, you know, we hope that the business end of that works out well, and that those connections are made so that our young adults and adults can get great jobs this summer. But then beyond that, you know, there's a lot of hope out there. And one thing that a lot of folks might not know is that we love Texas Workforce. Whenever I have a client, my first question is, are you engaged in Texas Workforce? Who's your counselor? Who you're working with? ACOG, all that. I know Gio very well. And so does Emily and the rest of us. And so we want them to get all the services that are available. Obviously, I had a young man recently that had his, he was he lived up in New Braunfels, and he just had his van totally refitted to be able to drive it because he uses a wheelchair that was totally paid for by Texas Workforce, right? Who does that? That was like 30 or 40, 56. I mean, I think it was like 60,000. It was a lot of money. So there's great services. You can go all around, and we want them to have that. But a lot of them are just either not aware of it. I will tell you, with COVID, it's been difficult often to reach and to do business with some of the Texas Workforce people. I'm just being honest. It's been hard for all of us. So it hasn't been as fluid as it used to be. And so some of the clients just want to go on and get a job, right? They don't want to wait for the meetings that you all know sometimes take time. And some of our counselors move quickly, and some of them move slowly. That's just a fact. And so if they move too slowly, then I'm able to get them jobs within about a month. And sometimes that's too quick for our counselors in San Antonio to work. And so my company doesn't require any refunding. We don't need any reimbursements. So Emily, 80% of my clients, so of the 450, I would say 350 or 60 are not VRS clients. We try to get them, as some of them were, but they're either not eligible or they've already closed the case or whatever. And so we just go ahead and help them, right? So I'm going to shut up, but I think what you guys are hearing is something unique, because most providers do not work like this. And Emily was part of that meeting we had with Vanessa, my boss, and which we told the VRS community in San Antonio, we're a company that wants but doesn't require any reimbursements. So as a result, COVID slowed things down for counselors, and I was able to get jobs too quickly at Amazon for counselors to catch up with a service authorization, right? We wanted it. We still provide the services. And so most of my clients are not with VRS, but we want them to be. And I will shut up with this comment. So here's the cool number. 450 is a good number over a couple of years. But what I'm most proud of, Emily, is that 80%, no, 90% of all the clients I started with 5 years ago are still working today.
That's
I follow everyone from beginning to end. And even though they're not working the same job, they're still working. And so that's what's important. Thank you for letting me run my mouth, but I think my company is a unique company. I wanted to share that with everybody. Bring them on, bring your folks on, and we'll help them
Thank you
out.
so much, Todd. And I would just say for Dana and Todd and Janice and Michael, you guys step in too. But if as you guys continue to work with, you know, the folks that are in the centers, the board, and then of course the BR staff, if you find that there are barriers, if people are being referred, they're not getting seen, you know how to find us, right? You know how to find Janice and Michael and Maggie and myself. And that's really important. And Todd, I totally understand that our process does take some time. But we really as a division are trying to be super intentional with getting people in. You know, once they make contact, our policy allows 30 days. We're really trying to look at 14 days and no more because we want to get people served faster. Well, our policy allows, 6 months to develop an IP. That doesn't bode well for us. We want to move these people in so they can get employment. So if you guys are referring folks or you have someone that's interested, but you're not sure where to go, or you need, us to help court that, let us know, both Dana and Todd. I can tell you that, I think they're going to move us, but post-secondary education and more advanced careers is also where our division is focused. Historically, our counselors have always kind of been trained on this mindset. This is back in the day, 10, 15 years ago, that if you do training, then then we're going to focus on training, right? And academics, and we're not going to do job placement. You can't do both. That is no longer the case. We can do a variety of services. So we're really trying to look at long-term careers and not just initial jobs. So you guys know where to find us. I think they're moving us into, we have some new people that have joined. This is our second session. More people. So Todd and Dana, I think you guys are able to rotate into something else. So bye.
I just rotated in.
Okay. Hi, Sandra. Bye, Dana. Bye, Todd.
I'm going to hang a minute and see what you got going here. Go ahead.
Are you
Thanks,
staying?
Sandra.
Okay, you're staying with us. All right, we're devoted. Hey, Ryan.
Hi.
Hey. Hi, Sandra.
Hi, Todd.
Everybody knows Todd.
Yes, everybody.
Okay, and then Pilar.
Yes, hello, how you doing?
Hi, welcome to our crew. You chose
Thank
the
you.
Breakout for your second choice. And then Ruth. Hey, Ruth.
Hi.
Hi there.
Hello.
Okay, so this is our second round. Should we do our little roadshow again, y'all, and do our intros?
Surely.
Okay, I think we're moving and grooving. Well, hi, second group. My name is Emily Bonsek, and welcome in the employment crew. I work under Texas Workforce Commission, and under that big umbrella, I'm in the vocational rehabilitation division. And so we don't work at the centers, but we work with individuals who have disabilities, whether they're youth or adults. If you've been around, we used to be called DARS, the Department of Assisted and Rehab Services, but now we're a very long name. It's Texas Workforce Solutions Vocational Rehabilitation Services. Just say vocational rehab under TWC. But I'm here in San Antonio in the regional office, and I provide support to our management teams and then a program specialist team that provides coaching and assistance and consultation to our counselors. We have about 300 folks in our region alone. And so our region is San Antonio, and then we go down to South Texas. We do Lower Rio, McAllen, Cameron, Laredo, Corpus Christi, Victoria. So we're a very big geographic region. So that's me. Welcome. Mags, do you want to go?
Hi, everybody. I'm Maggie Cromings. I work with Emily. I am the Business Relations Coordinator for Texas Workforce Solutions Voc Rehab, also San Antonio and South Texas. So I work basically as a liaison between businesses that are wanting to diversify and hire and be more inclusive, hiring people with disabilities, and then also working with the customers that come to Voc Rehab who are looking for a job or looking to move up in their career or get some more training. And so we also do a lot of disability etiquette training, awareness, and advocacy for individuals looking for work that have disabilities. So excited you guys are here.
Thank you. My name is Janice Onyejoko, and I'm with Workforce Solutions Alamo. I'm one of the student hireability navigators, so my age focus is from 14 to 22 years of age. We work very closely with the schools. We work very closely with the ESC region centers, region number 20, as well as region number 3. Our focus is to start the conversation with young adults towards education. What are you going to do once you graduate from high school? Everyone has some type of skill that they can bring to the table and earn money for. There's neat and creative skills. If you're an artist, you love to draw. Had you ever thought about being a graphic artist? Have you ever thought about being a game developer? So we use a variety of different modules, and Texas has some really great modules that are state driven. And there's 9 different ones, and it helps you find your niche. What's your creative flair? It also gives you comparisons of, if you want to live in San Antonio, what your cost of living would be. Maybe you decide you're a big city person and you want to branch out to Austin. It will tell you exactly how much money you would have to earn to live a comfortable life there. But we work within the workforce centers. We work with our great partners of VR in the Summer Earn and Learn program. And if you have a question and you're unsure, you can always contact a navigator and we'll make that connection for you. We thank you that you took this opportunity to come into the employment room. Have a great evening as you listen to the others.
My name is Michael DeFries. I'm the Deputy Director of Partnerships and Operations for the Workforce Centers here in the Bexar County area, as well as the counties around Bexar County. We go as far up as Fredericksburg, New Braunfels, as far out as Kennedy. We have as far down as Pearsall. Actually, we go to Tilden. Forgot to mention that last time. We can go to Tilden. We don't have an office in Tilden, but we do go as low as Tilden, and we go out towards Hondo and out that way. We do universal services in our workforce centers. That could be faxing, free computers, free copying, free appeals, use of our video systems, as well as any of the adaptive systems that we have in our centers. We also have intensive services, which are when someone is made eligible either through HHSC or one of our other programs, such as WIOA, SNAP, or TANF, we're able to do one-on-one services with you. We are work first. We want everybody to get, especially during this time, we want to get everyone back to work as much as possible during the pandemic and even past the pandemic. But if it's found that you're not able to find employment, we do have the ability to send people to training, both long-term and short-term. We have online classes, something that changed when the pandemic came in. Previous to pandemic, we were a brick and mortar. If you wanted any of our services, you had to walk into the building. If you wanted to be in any of our programs, you had to come into the building and meet one-on-one with someone. As soon as the pandemic hit, we switched gears and everything is now pretty much virtual. We have virtual orientations, virtual workshops, virtual intake, as well as virtual signing of documents. A lot of the training, I'm working with a lot of the training providers here in the San Antonio and the surrounding community. They've gone to either a blended system where a part of the time you're in training on site and the rest of the time you're doing it virtually, or even completely virtually. So we're in a virtual world now. So there may come a time when a person does never even have to step a foot into our workforce centers and be provided services.
So we would love to hear from you guys who joined the employment breakout. We've got Ryan and Ruth and Sandra and Liz and Barbara. So if y'all are open to introducing yourselves and sharing with us kind of where you came from and how you got here, and then of course any questions that you guys have for us.
I can go. My name is Ryan Flipson. I am a clinical social worker and voc rehab counselor by training and an individual with a disability. Been here in San Antonio since coming down here in '96 to do my internship for my master's in rehab counseling in '96, and do a lot from home these days around disability advocacy and work with Melanie on some stuff, but also do a caregiver support group for connectability at Warm Springs and work with an attorney on making San Antonio a little bit more accessible.
Awesome. Thank you. Nice to meet you.
Mhm.
Oh, Sandra, I see you. You're on mute. Oh, Sandra, you're on mute.
Sorry,
There you go.
I get mad at other people doing that, and here I am doing it. Ugh. Anyway, I'm Sandra, and I'm here representing Care Warriors Inc. tonight. We're a new nonprofit that serves special needs, particularly autistic youth, transitioning into adulthood with everything from counseling and housing assistance, especially employment assistance. And Todd, who was on here, I think he went somewhere, is our chairman and is invaluable in terms of job placement of our special needs youth and adults. And so I was on the food insecurity earlier because I have my own nonprofit that is focused on food. We have such a terrible food insecurity problem here and everywhere. And then I'm a labor economist by training, so always interested in employment issues and job counseling and helping make people employable so they can care for themselves and others. And I have disabled people in my family and my life. And I've also worked with Melanie with Disability SA. So we're all one big family here.
Thank you. And Sandra, tell us the name of this new entity that you're working with. You said it's a nonprofit.
Yeah, it's my own little one. I created it after my mother passed away. She had a heart for anyone hungry, and it's her name. It's an unusual name. It's the Arbutus Place. Her first name was Arbutus, Arbutus. I knew I would forever be trying to explain her name, so I did that on purpose. She never had a middle name. She never really had a nickname, but it's the name of a flower that grows in the mountains of Virginia. And so a lot of people will know Arbutus after this. And so it's I'm co-located at the Trinity United Methodist Church in the medical center area. And we're doing food distributions, diapers, clothes, milk, etc. And I partner also with Mercedes Bristol with Texas Grandparents Raising Grandchildren. And so she feeds the seniors and I feed everybody else. And we just work together to take care of the community.
Awesome. Wow. Pretty impressive.
Thank you. Just got to keep moving.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
And we've got Ruth and Barbara and Amira.
I'm Barb Durker. I'm with the Northside Independent School District. I work at the Nellie Reddick Center, teaching post-secondary. What I specifically teach is young adults that come to us after they've graduated high school. And if they want to get a job in a grocery store, I teach them how to do that. We train at Arlen's grocery store, Arlen's Market, as well as HEB. And we also have students who this year are now going to start with HEB is going to start doing internships with our young adults.
Oh, wow.
So I teach employment skills, but I also work with the other 4 areas of transition into adulthood. So.
I'm sorry, and what was your name? I'm sorry, what was your name? You said you work with Northside?
Yes, at the Nellie Reddick Center. I'm a special ed teacher with, I teach grocery skills to post-secondary students.
Oh,
And we work closely with Nellie Reddicks, and I know
Right.
there's been some barriers in the past with HEB with just their regulations and not being able to work with certain populations or ages. And so that's awesome that you guys have been able to sort of overcome that and work with them for those internships. I think.
Right. And even prior to this, everybody that's wanted to and has met their expectations has been hired at HEB. We're just going to be able to now, instead of once they're ready, just looking for work, once they're ready and we've trained them, they'll start with an internship, a paid internship that will turn into employment. So we'll have less of the downtime between training and employment.
That's awesome. That's a huge change with HEB.
Right. Plus, we're getting young adults jobs at other grocery stores as well. So
Mhm.
we happen to train there, and if they get jobs, they're great. But a lot of students have aspirations to other stores as well.
Sure. Well, thanks for coming, joining this this breakout, Barbara. And then Ruth, did you want to introduce yourself?
Yeah, I'm actually here for my son. He has intellectual disability. My name is Ruth. I'm a parent, and I'm here, yeah, just to get information.
Awesome. Well, thank you for joining. He's a lucky kiddo that he's got such a devoted parent, and you've got a bunch of people in this virtual room that have a lot of information and can provide supports to your kiddo. So we're really here for you. So any questions that you've got for us, you've heard from the VR, and then of course the workforce solutions, and of course the school. And so any questions that you've got, we're here to answer. So thanks for coming, and he's lucky to have you. How old is he?
He just turned 18. He's at work right now. He's working at McDonald's, but he's about to graduate next year from Clark High School. And yeah, I'm trying to get him ready so he can get a better job than where he's at right now, because that was just for while he's in high school.
Right.
But I do want him to get him ready for the world and everything.
Well,
Yeah.
and Ruth, I would like to say, so in the chat, if you were able to see it, I did put our local Alamo area vocational rehabilitation information. There's my name, I'm Maggie, and I also put our community outreach, Megan Bennett, and then the statewide call number and the website. If you're looking for vocational rehab support, I did put the information in there for you if you would like it. If you would like to, you can call me if you want to talk about maybe getting connected with Voc Rehab. I can help you with that for your son.
And I also
okay, thank you.
Yes.
I also wanted to interject, Miss Ruth, is under the WSA umbrella, we have the YES program, and that works with youth from 18 up to 26 years of age. And the neat thing about it is, if you decide to go the route for Voc Rehab, you can be dual enrolled in both of the programs. And the YES program works with individuals who have a disability. They also, if needed, can help you with a job coach. They get you set up with any type of equipment or such like that you would need once you start your career path. So what I would suggest to you is go ahead and look into one of the WSA career centers, which is closest to your home, because once you reach out to them, they'll look at your zip code. They want it to be close and convenient for you. They have a neat program. I mean, so many offerings. Even at this point, you said that he's about ready to graduate. They also have tutoring if he needs to bring his grades up for those final tests. So look into the WSA career centers.
Oh, okay. Yes, ma'am. Thank you. You said WSA Career Center?
Yes, it's Workforce Solutions Alamo.
Oh, okay.
All
I'm
right.
writing it down.
Uh-huh.
Thank you.
You're welcome. You can also just put those acronyms in on your computer. It'll pop it up. There's just worm your way through the website and see what the offerings are.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome.
And I wanted to also just chime in, Ruth, since he's still at Clark, we do have counselors on the vocational rehab side that are assigned to different schools in San Antonio. And we do have a counselor that is assigned to Clark. Do you happen to know who that is? And if you don't, we can get that information. Maggie can follow up with you and get you that information. But the sooner we can get you connected to the counselor who is assigned to Clark, the better.
I don't know the counselor. I know he has a case manager, and he did do as soon as he had turned 16, he did do the summer earn and learn.
Yeah.
So I'm a little familiar with it. And then from there, he got, after it was a Taco Cabana, but then afterwards, he got hired at McDonald's. So he's been working ever since he was 16 there. But since he's about to graduate, I want to move him to a better job, that pays better, like some training. Yeah.
And since he's done SEAL, he's connected with VR, with the vocational rehab program. You have to be connected with us to do that. So he's in. So it's just a matter of us figuring out who his counselor is. Also probably referred to, I know as the case manager, same thing. And so we can still follow up with you and make sure you guys know who that is. Because there's a lot of opportunities for him moving forward. So you're in here at the right time.
Yes, ma'am. I can leave my information, or whoever can follow up with me.
Maggie, if you're able to kind of get that from Ruth, that'd be awesome.
Ruth, I will message you privately on this.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. And I saw Andre joined us, and then we have an Ariana. We're just kind of doing introductions. Andre, if you're open to sharing who you are and where you came from, how you got here.
Okay, I'm Andre Green, originally from St. Petersburg, Florida. And I got here because I used to work at Texas State University. And I have an acquired brain injury because I was hit by a truck while riding my bicycle for a triathlon. And my voice sounds like this because I have a vocal paralyzed or something like that because of being incubated for so long. But outside of that, you guys are looking at me manifesting my apartment in Austin, and when I become a lobbyist. Hi there.
Hi, thank you for joining us. I think you might have missed our intros, and so we can do a real quick roadshow again. But I'm Emily, and I work with the vocational rehab program. I'm not sure how familiar you are, but if you've been around, we used to be DARS, and now we're under Texas Workforce Commission, and we're still moving and grooving and working with individuals who have disabilities and are looking for employment. Our doors are still open. We have integrated into a lot of the Workforce Center offices now that we're under Texas Workforce Commission, but we're serving customers remotely. We're doing a lot of that stuff. We are starting to have counselors that are going into the offices now, slowly but surely. But are you familiar with the vocational rehab program?
Yeah, I am. And actually, when I first acquired my brain injury, I worked with DARS to help pay for my rehab. And it was right on the cusp of it going to Texas Workforce. So I took about 6 months off before it was time to start the work field. But I went through the process, and it seems as though, I don't know, I got caught in the system, but it's been 3 years and I've been waiting. Last I checked, I was with the Ticket to Work program. I did the counseling, I did a psychiatric exam, and then I got an email letter from my counselor, and he says that he was leaving on December 21st, and it was December 21st when I got the letter, and I haven't heard anything since.
Oh no. Okay. Well, I'm so glad you are on here, and we will definitely.
I'm so glad I saw that you guys are going to be here.
Yeah, absolutely. And we will definitely, so Maggie's our starting point for us today, and just getting information from you guys. And in addition to us figuring out who you were working with and getting you back connected, Janice and Michael also are workforce solutions partners. There's other opportunities and programs that might be available to you.
Frank Salis was his name.
Say, who was it?
Frank Salis, S-A-L.
Oh, Frank Salas, yes, okay.
Yeah.
We know exactly what unit he works with, so we can get you connected back with Carlos Hernandez is the supervisor over in that unit. They've moved their locations. They're actually in one of the Workforce Solutions Alamo centers. So Maggie will work with you today before you leave, and we will get you connected essentially.
Yes.
Okay,
So
because
appreciate that.
I did send an email to the contact person back in January about where he and I had left off, but they in the letter said they were going through the process of trying to replace him. So that was in February since I tried to get contact, and now I haven't had any contact until I met you guys.
Hi, Andre, I just sent you a private message on here. So if you could just respond to that, I can get you, try to get that connection tomorrow.
All right, I have a brain injury, so be patient with all this computer stuff.
No, you're okay.
No problem. So I don't want to speak for the other employment crew here, but I know we've got a few minutes. Ryan and Andre and Ruth, are there any specific questions that you have about the Workforce Solutions program, services offered under Janice and Michael, or for the VR? How can we help you guys today?
Well, I don't want to take up everybody's space, but I know specifically that I may have a mental disability, but I feel as though I was blessed, and I want to be able to take advantage of the fact that I'm still here and I'm considered high functioning. So Frank and I told him I wanted to be a lobbyist for people with disabilities, and he told me you got to be rich. So I've been volunteering as much as I could with Zoom, with all these council meetings and any kind of disability organization. I could just magically be right here in my living room. So that part I've been trying to at least do on my own as much as I can.
I think you and Ryan need to connect because Ryan is doing some advocacy as well.
Definitely.
Hmm.
Definitely.
If my voice gets better, I will be even more awesome. I need your help.
If I've got a visual impairment where it's tough to type, especially under pressure of the time, but if somebody could type into the chat for him, my contact information, that'd be great. I can give that to everybody here. That's fine. Phone number is 210-324-3869.
Got it. And I will
Okay.
get your name.
What was your name again, Frank?
Ryan?
Ryan. Ryan. I go by Flip. Flip's the nickname.
Hey, I have brain injury. Be patient.
No worries.
I'll call you Steve.
No worries. No, I guess the personal question I have is prior to the pandemic, I was a VR client, still am, with Anthony. Can't think of his last name here in San Antonio,
Brown?
but just what's that?
Anthony Brown?
There you go. And we're trying to reconnect and kind of pick up where we left off and do some things, notwithstanding pandemic. But just curious when the offices are going to reopen here, where I can go back into the office. I think last I was in the office, I actually hadn't met with Anthony. It was I think the assistant to his predecessor to do some paperwork for a wheelchair that y'all were helping me out with at the time. But just curious when things are going to kind of get back in the office, although Zooms and phone calls are convenient. It's very hard to get a hold of folks.
Yeah, absolutely. And if we need to get you, do you have Anthony's information, Ryan?
I think I do. And I know he's called me from a different number, but
Okay.
yeah, it's just one of those things where I think last we talked, he had called to do like a pin reset for my plan and kind of update some of that.
Okay, yeah, no, I'm so glad you came in. So Maggie's amazing and she's taking all this information down. So actually Frank, so Andre's counselor and then your counselor, Ryan, come from the same unit. They're under the same supervisor, Carlos
Yeah,
Hernandez.
I've talked to
It's
Carlos.
awesome.
It's been a while though. Yeah.
So
Yeah,
we
our
can
offices
reach
are
out to
fully
Carlos.
open.
Maggie can help in getting you guys connected. as far as so we are really trying to be deliberate and intentional in saying that our doors are open whether we're actually on site or we're virtual, but that the centers are open. It's just a matter of depending on kind of what's going on with the COVID social saturation numbers, you know, and making sure that we're still thoughtful with like not having tons of people go back. We do have each management unit as a rotating schedule of folks going in. And so if there's a business need and you as a client and customer feel like it'd be better for you to be on site, because, you know, it's easier to have some of those conversations. You just want to let Anthony know so he can be part of that rotation and go in and be able to schedule time to be on site and meet with you.
Cool.
Yeah, and so Maggie's going to help get you connected with Carlos, and Carlos is really good about following up. So for both Andre and you, Ryan, we can definitely make sure that you guys have your appointments, whether it's virtual or in person, but what works best for you guys.
And for the record, virtually I make great coffee. So whenever you guys want to come visit, I'll be right here waiting for you with a fresh pot.
That sounds
Just saying.
delicious.
Guys
Thank you.
know, I have taken all these notes. I have them.
Awesome.
I let them know. I will get in touch with Carlos tomorrow, just first thing in the morning. I have your guys' names, and I will try to get that connection again to the management unit and get with you guys. I have your emails and phone numbers, so we should be good to go.
Awesome. And Michael actually, Michael DeFries right here. He is at one. Michael, you're at the center, right?
Yes.
So Michael,
we're housed out of the data point office. Yes.
Yeah, and that's where your counselors are. So Michael's a friendly face as well.
Yep.
And then Janice, if you know, again, we always want to kind of pimp the programs, right? And so while you're already connected with VR, there's other opportunities and other services that Michael and Janice can talk with you about. So if you come into, I don't want to speak for Michael, but if you guys come into the center and you want to have some FaceTime with Janice and Michael, I'm sure they can help set that up to talk about their programs as well. Kind of knock out two birds with one stone.
Also for me, it has been a true blessing because before Frank left, he helped me to get unemployment. Before that, I was living off $28 a month after all my bills are paid. But thankfully, I do get unemployment because of the pandemic. So I'm in the system, you know.
Good. I'm so glad that you were able to get through that.
So am I. That's why I can afford to have technology.
Well, I like your digs. I don't know if that picture behind you is your apartment or if it's one of those Zoom things, but I do like your apartment.
I am manifesting a apartment in Austin, that's 6th Street, and I'm having you guys to visit. That's what this is. Welcome.
Looking good. Janice, Michael, do you guys have anything else you want to add or share?
I don't.
No.
Actually, if and when he goes into the center, just remember to ask about a variety of services that might be available. You know, when you go in, everybody has such a unique inquiry, a unique fit that they're looking for. So feel free when you go into the data point office to say, what am I eligible for? What type of services can you help me with? So that's the biggest thing. Once you get in, they'll help you establish your work in Texas profile, and then you can go from there.
Spread the word also. Andre, as you guys are navigating through, you know, the various programs, you know, phone a friend, refer a friend. If you've got you know, people that you know that will also benefit from the services under TWC, let them know, because we, you know, we have robust funding stream that's here and ready to provide comprehensive services to our folks. And so, you know, we know that priorities have changed and people have been trying to take care of their family and, you know, and their basic necessities. But as businesses are opening up, and, you know, and people are ready to work, we're here for you guys. And so if there are barriers, if you're not getting through, if you're having a hard time getting phone calls back, that's information that we need to know. So we can make sure that you guys are being seen and you're seen timely. So we're so glad that you guys.
Thank you. I thought it was just how the system works. Wow.
Is there anything else that you guys have for us, Andre and Ryan? We got the little 5-minute warning that we're going to be moved into the group. Anything else that we can answer or troubleshoot for y'all today?
So your advice would be to make an appointment to come in to the data point office?
Yeah, and so I don't know who is is the new counselor that took over on your caseload, Andre, but Maggie, who you met a few minutes ago, she is going to be talking to Carlos Hernandez, and then Maggie or Carlos will follow up with you to make sure you know who that counselor is, and that way that counselor can reach out to you and schedule an appointment, whether it's a virtual or in person, whatever works for you. And the same's going to go with Ryan. We're going to have Carlos or Maggie follow up to make sure you guys are connected and get those appointments to talk with your counselor.
You guys are so good at what you do. Thank you. I feel so better.
Well, thank you.
Well,
For,
Yes,
we
thank you.
promised virtual coffee, so I
Yeah.
all right. Well, phone a friend, let your friends know. And like I said, we're always trying to provide quality customer service, but we know that it's difficult, and sometimes, just technology happens and maybe we don't, but our priority is to call our customers back within 24 hours and for you guys to be clear with, and also have a part in your plan and your services. So a lot of neat things happening. So I'm hopeful that we can continue to work with you guys and get you where you want to go in your employment goals. So thanks for taking the time and coming on today to meet with us.
Absolutely.
Thank you, Maggie.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Thank
Thank
you.
Joining our
All right, now we just wait to be merged back to the whole.
Anybody know
Guys,
any
it's nice
exciting
meeting you.
story? While we wait, do
Yeah,
you know
sure,
any
go
exciting
for it.
story? No, I was asking.
Tell us a story.
I don't have one. I have my throat is messed up.
Oh, you were asking us for a story?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, I can make you feel better. I have a beautiful chaos going on in the background. You don't see it, but I have 3 boys under 10, and so it's a little crazy. And so what you see often is me doing trainings, and then I'll go on mute, and you'll just see like my face going like screaming in the air, but it's really just screaming at my kids. And then I come back and I go, hello, okay, so where were we? So that's my beautiful chaos.
I'm jealous. I want a dog just because you said that now. No kids.
We're counting down. I see breakout rooms will close in 42 seconds. We're counting down.